Hello and how's everyone doing today? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, if you're a returning viewer, I'm glad to have you back and welcome to another episode of Justin Talks Games. As the title suggests, we're going to be talking about Fallout and canon endings. I've seen a lot of people freak out about Fallout 4 and New Vegas, possibly have canon endings because of the TV show, and I think it's a little silly, people freaking out and stuff. But before we get into that, I am going to be talking about Fallout 1, 2, and 3's endings. I'm not going to touch New Vegas or 4's because those two are the games that the endings are in question. But if you have not played Fallout 1, 2, or 3, I'm going to give you guys a couple of seconds to click off the video if you don't want to be spoiled if you've never played. So I'll give you a couple of seconds because I know YouTube can be silly. You click the pause button and it doesn't work. Or it takes a few seconds or your computer freezes, whatever. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to, do that. Okay, if you're still here, make sure to grab your drinks, grab your snacks. My snacks are in the back room, and let's get into this. So, since the release of the Fallout TV show, which I thought was amazing, by the way, it's really, really good, a lot of people have been getting riled up and angry about possible endings for Fallout 4. And then with the final episode of the TV show showing New Vegas, it's in ruins and all that, people are angry and speculating that, Bethesda has chosen an ending for New Vegas. They're getting all mad about that. Because apparently, according to these people, Fallout does not have canon endings. Never has, never will. It shouldn't. Bethesda bad. Bethesda ruin everything they touch. Bethesda blah blah blah. Todd Howard blah blah blah. It never ends. But I want to set this record kind of straight. I'm not sure how big this video is going to get, but for those of you who do watch it, I do want to kind of set this straight. Again, it's going to get into some spoilers and stuff. So, I mean, you've had your warning. If you're still here, that's great. Fallout 1, 2, and 3 all have canon endings. I mean, obviously you have your side content, your side quests, and stuff that you choose to do or not to do. But the core story of the game for 1, 2, and 3 has definitive canon endings. Whereas New Vegas and 4, they don't. And it's funny when you think about it, because Fallout 1 and 2, they were made by Interplay. That was not Bethesda. That was made by Interplay. Tim Kaine, one of the creators of Fallout 1, he also worked a bit on Fallout 2. That was not Todd Howard. Timothy Kaine is not Todd Howard. Todd Howard started Fallout on Fallout 3, which followed suit and also had a canon ending. Although it was changed a little bit in Broken Steel, but nevertheless, still had a canon ending. So let's get into these endings. In Fallout 1, you have two main objectives. Your first one is, so you're sent out into the wasteland. You leave your vault and search for a water chip. Because your vault 13, water chip is broken. And, you have, I think it's 13 days or something like that. I know it is a time limit to find this water chip. Eventually, you find the water chip, you bring the water chip back to the vault, and the overseer is basically like, thank you, you saved us all, you're a hero to the vault, but now you have to leave. It kind of mirrors Fallout 3, but Todd kind of used that idea in a way with Fallout 3, with the Trouble in the Home Front quest that you get later on in the game. You return, you save them, you fix their problems, and then essentially Amada, if she's the overseer, she's like, look, it's great that you saved our problem. I'm talking all over my words here. It's great that you saved us and you fixed our problems, but now you have to leave. It was a reference to Fallout 1, basically. Anyways, back to Fallout 1. So you get kicked out of the vault, basically, because you have lots of knowledge, and it's not as dangerous. It's still very dangerous out there, but it's not as dangerous as the Overseer thinks it is, or wants the Vault Dwellers to think it is. So anyway, so you leave the vault. And you come across super mutants. Super mutants started in the first game. And you learn that there's this big super mutant menace. There's lots, it's very bad. And you have to stop the super mutants. So eventually you find your way to, I can't remember the name of the town. Near the town with super mutants. No, sorry, that's where you get the water chip. I'm getting mixed up. Anyway, eventually you end up at a place. There's two places you end up. One of them is the Cathedral, and the second one is Mariposa. Mariposa is where the super mutants were made. That's where FEV was originally created by the U.S. government. Anyways, so upon learning that, you eventually find your way to a place called the Cathedral. Underneath the Cathedral is where Richard Gray is, his new name, the Master. The Master basically tells you, look, I created these mutants because I want to unify everybody. He has this cult called the Unity, and his plan was to unify everybody, stop wars, stop everybody hurting each other. So in his mind, he had a good idea, but the way he went about it was very bad. Very, very bad. So anyway, you can stop him in two ways. You can go down, destroy the Cathedral yourself, or you can get him to kill himself. Either way, the Master gets defeated, and Vault 13 gets their water chip. So either way, any outcome, doesn't matter. Those two things happen. Also, Mariposa gets destroyed as well. So those three things happen. And those three things are set in stone. Then you move on to Fallout 2. Fallout 2, you are the great-grandson of the Vault Dweller from Fallout 1. You're the chosen one. And I can't remember why you're initially sent out for Fallout 2. I can't remember initially why you're sent out. I played it a while ago, but I can't remember. But the big bads, you end up going and you find out about the Enclave. The Enclave is the main bad guy, the big meat of the story. So it turns out the Enclave kidnapped everybody from Vault 15, and they also kidnapped everybody from your village. You end up going back to your village. It's empty. You find out that the Enclave kidnapped everybody. So eventually you go and make your way to an oil rig, a Poseidon oil rig, which is the Enclave's main base where the president is and all that. It's a big deal. So you go there, you find out the Enclave was planning on releasing a virus to basically wipe out everybody in the world, essentially. They created this FEV type virus thing that if you have any radiation or anything in you, one dose of this stuff, boom, would just kill you. You'd be dead. So basically they wanted to purify and sterilize the wasteland of all radiation and everything. That would include all the humans because, well, at that point in time, I was at least, I think it's like 150 years, 175 years. I can't remember. Not very long, anyway. And they wanted to release this virus, kill everybody, so the Enclave could be the reigning of the world, basically. They wanted to take over the world. Long story short, you and Marcus, a super mutant that you meet earlier on in the game, go to the oil rig. You talk to the president, find out the plan, you stop the president, and then eventually you make your way and you kill Frank Horgan, who is their commander, and you blow up the oil rig, stopping the Enclave for good, essentially, until Fallout 3 anyway. You stop the Enclave for good on the West Coast. And that is set in stone. You find the Enclave, you kill them, done. That is the canon ending of Fallout 2. And then you have Fallout 3, which takes place on the East Coast, a very, very different area than Fallout 1 and 2. The canon ending for that, the Enclave comes back. They came over from the East Coast, from the West Coast. They came over and they were residing in the Raven Rock military base. Anyways, they wanted to use the water purifier in the Jefferson Memorial to basically poison all the water, essentially pull another Fallout 3, pull another Fallout 2, essentially. They wanted to put this virus in the water supply so that when the water gets distributed, anybody who drinks the water, they die. Two or three sips and they're dead. On a side note, the cool thing is, if you choose that as your ending for Fallout 3 after Broken Steel and all that, if you drink the water sources, you will actually die in 2 drinks. And it doesn't reset. If you take 1 drink, you're fine. If you take, I think it's 3 drinks. If you take 2 drinks, you're fine. And then say, like 10, 15 hours later, however long, you take your 3rd drink of water, boom, you're dead, just like that. But anyway, the canon ending to it, I mean, that's the bad ending, so it's not the canon one. But the canon ending is you stop the Enclave from purifying, or unpurifying, I guess you could say, the water source at the Jefferson Memorial. You give the poison to the Brotherhood guy, and then after the battle to the purifier, because the Enclave took it over, you essentially sacrifice yourself. And like I said earlier, with the DLC, it changed things. But the original ending to Fallout 3 was like your father, because your father before you, he passed away. He sacrificed himself so you could get away. Again, I'm not explaining everything because I don't want this video to be like 3 hours long. But anyways, the game wanted you to follow in your father's footsteps, which essentially you still do. And then before the DLC, the game ends, but there is no continuing on. Basically, the radiation was so bad that you died, but you were able to activate the purifier to get the ball rolling so everybody would survive. With Broken Steel installed, you end up in a coma for 2 weeks. They pull you out of the chamber, and weird. I accidentally pushed the what do you call it? Dryer. Okay. Anyway, sorry for that weird interruption. Anyway, you end up in a coma for 2 weeks. They pull you out of the purifier chamber thing, and you wake up in the Brotherhood of Steel Citadel. And then it goes on to the Broken Steel ending, which leads into kind of like the Fallout 4 stuff. So you take down a mobile base crawler, which is, if you guys, any of you guys have watched the original Star Wars, you guys know the Sand People. You know those big machines, like the Dune machines, the really, really big ones that kind of look like triangles on treads. Essentially, the thing, it's kind of like that, but it's a lot wider, and it's essentially a big researcher base. Long story short, you get a what do you call it? I can't think of it. I was sitting there thinking for a good 3 or 4 minutes. I can't think of the word. Basically, there's a thing, you push a button and missiles come out of the sky, but they're attached to something. If you guys can think about what it's called, let me know. I can't think of what it's called right now. Anyway, the mobile base gets destroyed, And then, which leads into Fallout 4, you find out that this giant airship that is carrying all the Brotherhood to Boston, to Massachusetts, it's made out of all of the parts that were salvageable from the mobile-based crawler from Fallout 3. So, 3 and 4 kind of lead into each other in that sense. But anyway, as you can see, 1, 2, and 3 all have definitive endings. The only ones that don't are New Vegas and 4. I know I'm in already 15 minutes into this video, but I do want to talk a little bit more. So, I want to say that people who are getting angry and mad about, Bethesda possibly giving Fallout 4 and New Vegas canon endings, I find it a little kind of silly, a little bit, if you think about it. Because all the games like I've described for, a little while, again, about 15 minutes worth, each game before those 2 games had endings. And 2 of those games were not even Bethesda. And then Bethesda made 3 and followed suit and also had a canon ending. Yes, it was changed a little bit due to the DLC, but either way, it still had a definitive ending with the Enclave being destroyed. I know Todd Howard said in an interview that he didn't want to choose an ending for New Vegas because of the TV show and all that. I don't want to do that. But if he ends up doing that, I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't change anything. Again, and the thing is that people don't think about too. Excuse me. I think people think that this TV show is like a couple of days after the game. That's the mindset. Jeez, I don't know why I'm coughing so much. Excuse me. I don't know why. But I don't know why people are getting so upset. Because again, those 3 games have endings. But like I was saying, I think people think that the TV show is like a year after New Vegas or a couple of days after Vegas takes place. That's got to be their mindset. That's the only thing that I can genuinely think of. But the TV show takes place at least 15 years after the game takes place. That's a very long time. Anything can happen. You could say NCR ending. Okay, the NCR was already in bad shape in New Vegas. People tend to forget about that too. But the NCR was in bad shape in New Vegas. What's stopping them from pulling out of Nevada because they're so stretched thin already? What if they got in worse condition and they had to pull out of Nevada? The independent ending. What if things got so ruthless, so bad, got so wild that, say the NCR did have to come in and take control of things, to bring order back or something. Because apparently before Mr. House took over the strip, from in-game explanations and other things, apparently it was a very, very wild, very crazy bad place. So the independent ending, I mean, that could go okay, or it could go in a direction where things went really bad again. The Yes Man ending, I don't think they would do that, because then they would have to essentially make your character the leader of New Vegas, and I don't think having a main character in the series would work very well. But you don't know. They might do that. You never know. I highly doubt that they would make a Legion ending. Obviously, from like the trailers and the promotion art, some sort of I don't know how to word this properly, but there is some sort of remnants of the Legion. They're still around. So maybe they're trying to retake Vegas again. In the trailers, Vegas looked to be in a bad state. There was also leaks. I know you're not really supposed to talk about leaks, but I'm going to get into them anyway. In the leaks, the strip and everything was in very bad shape. Lots of things destroyed and broken and all that. So who knows? Again, it's been 15 years, right? So anything can happen. But I think it's just silly that people are getting mad that there could be possible endings for the games when there have always been endings for the games. I know people say, "Oh well, with the airship there, that means the Brotherhood ending." Okay, either way, the Institute got destroyed. I can guarantee you that the Institute got destroyed. But yeah, I don't know what else to say because I'm going to start rambling, and I don't want to do that. But yeah, I think it's silly that people are going on and getting angry and mad and basically doing Bethesda hate like New Vegas fans do. I'm not like that. I love New Vegas, but I'm not like that. I like all Bethesda games, even 76. I enjoyed that too. But yeah, I don't understand the hate and all that towards them because all of them outside, I know I keep repeating myself, but all of them outside of Vegas and 3 or Vegas and 4 have all had canon endings. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. So if you enjoyed this video, if you found it informative, if it changed your way of thinking, if you were in that mindset of Bethesda bad, or if you're in the mindset of, oh, they're going to ruin the TV show because of such and such, let me know if I helped you out. If you found this video informative, if you've never beaten the previous games, let me know. So, feel free to leave a like, comment, definitely subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Have a good day.